Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Marathi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lakshmi. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. So, today, what we'll be doing is we'll be taking up Yojana and Kurukshetra magazine. So, of the month December. So, December 2023. So, again, we all know that the last month of December, the last month of every year, that is Yojana and Kurukshetra, they will deal with the year-end review. So you'll have for Yojana, it was a year-end review of all the different sectors, and similarly for Kurukshetra, it was a year-end review. So what happened in different ministries? So we'll get it in this Yojana. So today, what we'll do is before taking up the Yojana and Kurukshetra discussion, I want to explain about this prelims test series. So basically, this prelims test series is very important, very crucial for this year 2024. If you are attending 2024, please consider this as a mandatory test. So do not skip any of this test. So it's very important. Kindly solve all the tests. That's extremely important. That's going to help you in analyzing your level of preparation. So these are the seven topics that we'll be covering from Yojana and Kurukshetra article. So the first one is India and India's moonshot. So these are the seven important articles. I'll repeat. So the last month, that is the December month, will always have the year-end review. That is, Yojana magazine will have a year-end review of various ministries. Kurukshetra magazine will have a year-end review of various ministries. So these are the year-end reviews of various sectors in India. So the first one is India's moonshot, and we know that last year we were all proud that India launched its Chandrayaan 2 moon. So it was a very proud moment for every Indian. So this article speaks about India's launch, India's Chandrayaan launch to moon. Along with that, it also gives the broad overview about what exactly is ISRO doing in the future and what is its current trend. Is this clear? So that's what we'll be taking up now. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Yes. Yes, sir. Chandrayaan. Yes. So the first one is the article speaks about the various launch vehicles that India has, that ISRO has. What are the various launch vehicles that ISRO has? The Yojana article clearly mentions the various three important launch vehicles. So what is this launch vehicle? So launch vehicle is considered this as a rocket where the top part, so this will be the payload. Payload means what is the equipment that is carried to the space, that is called as a payload. Say for example, satellite is a payload. So launcher means this is a launcher, this is a rocket that is going to launch this payload into the space. So that's the meaning of a launcher. Is this clear? Launcher means it is a rocket that is going to launch the payload into the space. This payload, so usually the payload will be at the top of the launcher. So the top of the launcher, there will be satellite. So satellite is the other word of satellite, we'll call it as payload. Payload means anything that is carried by the launcher. So that is called as a payload. So there are three important launchers that ISRO has. The first one is PSLV. That is, PSLV is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So what is this Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle? This is one of the most important launch vehicle of ISRO, because most of the ISRO's satellites are launched through this PSLV, and as a reason, it is known as ISRO's workhorse. Why it is known as ISRO's workhorse? It is very highly consistent in terms of delivering its result, and very less number of failures in PSLV, and it is very cost effective compared to rest part of the world. So as a reason, we consider, that is ISRO considers PSLV as its workhorse in the sense the most reliable launcher. So if we have to launch any satellite, so the first most reliable launcher is PSLV, because the success ratio is very high, it is highly consistent, the cost wise it is very low. As a reason, this is the most reliable launcher. So this is the most important launcher that ISRO has. So again, I'm repeating, launcher means it is a kind of a rocket that's going to launch your payload or a satellite into the space. So this, the most important launcher is PSLV. And second most important launcher is, earlier we were calling it as a GSLV Mark 3. So now the name has been changed into LVM 3. So earlier, so this is your GSLV Mark 3. Say this is your GSLV Mark III. So earlier we were calling this launcher as GSLV Mark III. Now we call it as LVM3. The name has changed. No technology has been changed, just the name has changed. So what is this LVM3? Launch vehicle Mark III. So launch vehicle Mark III. So again, what's the difference between your PSLV and GSLV? So GSLV has more capacity, it can carry bigger payloads, means it can carry bigger satellite into the space compared to PSLV. But however, GSLV is very costlier compared to PSLV. But anyways, the weight carried by GSLV to the space is very high compared to PSLV. So as a reason, all the communication satellites, usually the communication satellites are big in size. So it varies somewhere some between say 800 kgs to almost or approx around 2000 kgs. So these are big satellites. The big satellites are carried by GSLV. Is this clear? Earlier before the development of this LVM3, in order to launch any of our big satellites, we were depending on different space agencies. Say we were depending on France, we were depending on Japan, we were depending on US, etc., in order to launch India's big satellite. Once ISRO has developed this LVM3, so earlier we were calling it as GSLV Mark III. So then now ISRO is not depending on any other space agencies to launch our big satellites. So even if there is a big satellite, now that could be launched via LVM3. So this is this is a bigger launch. Yeah, hi. Yeah. Okay, please focus here. So this is if there's any doubt, please raise that out here. I'll be resolving. Okay, this is a GSLV, say bigger rocket that's going to launch big size payloads. And now coming to the new one, this is a newly built launch vehicle. What is this newly built launch vehicle? This is known as SSLV, small satellite launch vehicle. As the name itself suggests, small satellite launch vehicle. LVM3 will launch big vehicle, whereas your SSLV is going to launch small vehicles. Nowadays small satellites. Nowadays we have satellites called as micro satellites, nano satellites, micro satellites. So these kind of satellites are launched by SSLV. We need not have big launchers. So in order to have big launcher, it is a costly affair. So if we can use SSLV is very cheaper compared to your PSLV and GSLV. If we have to launch small satellites, let's say like your micro satellites, nano satellites, so ISRO will be preferring this SSLV. So these are the important launch vehicles that ISRO has. Again, what is the next thing that the article suggests about? So ISRO is now focusing its attention on space situational awareness. So what is a space situational awareness? Space situational awareness means it is a concept where the space agency is completely aware about the movement across the space, about the movement of various elements across the space. I'll again repeat it. Space situational awareness means it is a concept. It is a concept where the space agency, ISRO is a space agency, NASA is a space agency, JAXA is a space agency. Similarly, so the ISRO is one space agency where space agency should be aware about the situations that prevails in the space. That concept is known as space situational awareness. Space situational awareness means the ISRO should know how is the satellites moving, how are the debris. So in the space there are lot of debris. If there's any satellite, if this satellite is not functioning properly, what will it become? It will become into a debris. And all the launch vehicles, so what are the launch vehicles, it goes to the space, that becomes a debris. So ISRO space situational awareness means ISRO should focus on gaining the capacity of space situational awareness. In the sense, ISRO should have awareness about the movement of various elements in the space. Why it is needed? It is needed because in order to protect our satellites. So what happens if ISRO has launched a satellite, if some other debris comes and strikes this satellite, So if some debris comes and strikes the satellite, what will happen? Our satellite will get damaged. So as a reason, ISRO should have clear awareness about what is happening in the space. So should have situational awareness about the space. You would have seen in the Interstellar movie, the famous movie Interstellar movie. So where a space debris comes and strikes the international space station. So in order to avoid such incidents, so ISRO is now focusing on building up space situation awareness. Is this clear? Any doubt here? All good. Okay, fine. Okay, along with that, now ISRO is focusing on Gaganyaan facility. So, what is this Gaganyaan facility? And we know that recently we launched our satellite to Moon. So, and the next step which ISRO is planning is to have a manned mission. What is this manned mission? So, that manned mission of ISRO is known as Gaganyaan mission, sending man to space. That is sending humans to space. That mission is known as Gaganyaan mission. So is this clear? So this is the first mission which ISRO is planning, where ISRO wants to send humans to the space for research activities. This mission is known as Gaganyaan mission. So we all know that space is an uncharted territory. So we haven't explored space. So we don't know. There can be various consequences. Astronauts can easily die. So in order to train the astronaut, we need to create space like situations, space like facilities in India. So as a reason, we have this. ISRO has started developing this Gaganyaan facility. What is this Gaganyaan facilities? These are the facilities which simulate space environment. Space environment is not like on your Earth. So space environment, there won't be gravity. There is very microgravity, very little amount of gravity, and there is vacuum. So in this microgravity and in this vacuum, if we have to avoid any disaster, we should prevent those disasters. We can only prevent those disasters if we train our astronauts. How can we train our astronauts? So we can create space like conditions on Earth. So that is your Gaganyaan facilities. This is clear. So now ISRO is working towards this Gaganyaan facility. Any doubt here? Okay, fine. Along with that, now ISRO, along with Gaganyaan facility, now ISRO is focusing on having the second launch pad. Earlier, where was ISRO's main launch pad? Where was India? Where was ISRO launching its all rockets, all the satellites? It was launching from Sri Harikota. It is somewhere here near near Andhra Pradesh. It is Sri Hari Kota. So Sri Harikota is an island. So from this island, ISRO was launching all its satellites. But this is not sufficient for ISRO, because in future ISRO plans to send a lot of rockets to the space. So in order to a lot of satellites to the space. So in order to cater the future demand, now ISRO has started developing the second launch pad. So what is the second launch pad? Name is known as. Where is the second launch pad? The second launch pad is in Tamil Nadu. There's a district called as Thuthukudi district. In this Thuthukudi district, Tamil Nadu, again, ISRO is planning to create a new launch pad. Why it is creating a new launch pad? In future, ISRO will be sending a lot of satellites to the space. So as a reason, one launch pad is not sufficient. So what ISRO is planning? So ISRO is planning to increase its launch pad, because in future ISRO plans to have many satellites in the space. Along with that, now the private sector has also entered into the space market. So if the private sector has entered into space market, initial grounds has to be laid down by ISRO. So if ISRO has additional launch pad, ISRO can commercialize this launch pad. In the sense, ISRO can rent this launch pad to the private entities as well, and then this is going to help ISRO, because we'll get money out of it. So, but however, ISRO has the technology of launchpad. Your private sector doesn't have enough technology to build a launchpad. ISRO has the technology, and in future, ISRO wants to increase the number of satellites to the space, number of launches to the space. So, So because of that, ISRO is planning to have a new launch pad. So this is something new that's happening in ISRO. And along with this, what are the other achievements of ISRO? So the main achievement of ISRO is NAVIC. So you'll be using GPS, right? In your phone, you'll be using GPS. So this GPS belongs to US. So US is the owner of this GPS signals. Similar to GPS, the counterpart of GPS in India, we call it as IRNSS. So what is this IRNSS? Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. In simple, we call it as NAVIC. NAVIC. What is this NAVIC? Consider NAVIC to be a counterpart of GPS that is owned by India. Who is the owner of GPS? US is the owner of GPS. Now here NAVIC is again, it's a global positioning system. So where we have 7 satellites. These 7 satellites will help in coordinating in help will help in identifying the coordinates across India. But however, this is not a global positioning system. This is only a regional level. This NAVIC support will not be provided for entire globe. This NAVIC support will be provided only around India and around South Asian region. Consider this NAVIC as the counterpart of GPS, which is owned by India. So now you can use NAVIC in order to go from point A to point B. You need not rely on GPS. So this is your NAVIC. Along with this NAVIC, what is the new achievements which recently ISRO has made? This is your Aditya L1. So what is Aditya L1? Aditya L1, this is a satellite that was launched by ISRO for one purpose. What is that one purpose? To study sun. The only purpose of Aditya is to study sun, and that to be to if you have to be more specific, to study the atmosphere of sun. So that is the main reason of Aditya. So why we have to study sun? Because there are so many activities in sun that is going to impact earth. Say for example, sunspot cycle. So sunspot cycle, or we'll have the solar flares. What does the solar flare do? The solar flares, if there is a solar flare, it is going to affect the communication network, it is going to affect the electric transmission lines, etc. So the Aditya L1 was launched by ISRO with the sole purpose of studying the earth's sun's atmosphere, so that we can have better awareness about better knowledge about sunspot cycle, your solar flares, so all this, and then the magnetic storm that comes from so sun, etc. So in order to study sun in detail, we have Aditya L1. Along with Aditya L1, now that we have reached moon and we are planning to send man to space. So the author says that in future India can also, this is author's view, this is purely author's view. The author says that in future India can also have this Bharat space station. So now currently, what's the space station we have this is your International Space Station. This is your ISS, International Space Station. The author says that now that we have mastered in landing the satellite over moon, now in future we will be sending man to the space. So if we have mastered how to send satellite to moon, and if we master how we can send man to the space, so that will help in having India's own space station, which can be known as Bharat Space Station. Is this clear? So this is the author's view. Any doubt here? Chandrajyoti, the launchers do not come back to the Earth. So ISRO doesn't, till now, it doesn't have a reusable launchers. So like your SpaceX, Elon Musk SpaceX, they have reusable launchers. So the launchers will go to the space, deploy the satellite, and again come back. India's ISRO doesn't have reusable launcher as of now. We are building it, we are moving towards reusable launchers. Okay, so yeah, please solve this. Good. Okay, Agni 3 is a missile. Agni 3 is not a launch vehicle of ISRO. Agni 3 is a missile. So we use it for defense perspective. Clear? Okay, next we'll see the redefining mobility, changing the transport sector landscape. Again, in this article, so this article gives you a broad overview about India's transportation sector. So, what are there in India's transportation sector? What are the different important modes of communication? So, one is your roadways, next railways, next what's the next way? What's the next one? Again, we have your seaways, waterways. So these are the important waterways. Excellent, Karan. So these are the important ways, modes of transportation which this article has covered. So what are this important transportation reforms that has taken place in the recent times? We will see. So in the recent times, what are the changes that the government has done to the transportation sector? So first we'll start with the road sector. So again, road. So Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. So this is the nodal agency. It is the nodal agency that is going to develop roadways in India. And when was this ministry formed? This ministry was formed in 2009. In 2009, this ministry was formed, and we have to be proud that India has the second largest road network across the world. So India has the second largest road network. Again, so what are the important schemes that the government has rolled in order to improve the road sector? What are the important scheme? The first most important scheme is Bharat Mala Pariyojana. It is a flagship scheme of the current government. Say during Vajpayee era, we had this golden quadrilateral. So this was Vajpayee's era's golden quadrilateral. So during Vajpayee's era, this is known as golden quadrilateral. Yeah. So this was golden quadrilateral. So under the current government, so Bharat Mala Pariyojana is their pet project. So pet project in a sense, the most important project. So what is this Bharat Mala Pariyojana? So basically, this is a project that is going to develop road across India. So what are the road that is going to be developed? Envisages the development of 26,000 kilometers of economic corridors that would supplement this golden quadrilateral. This is a golden quadrilateral. Along with this golden quadrilateral, this Bharat Mala Pariyojana plans to build a whopping of 26,000 kilometers of road that is going to complement this golden quadrilateral. So if we construct road, what will happen? It is going to increase economic activity, it is going to increase trade, it is going to create development, it's going to lead to create more jobs. So this will lead to multiplier effect. It's going to help out a lot of industries. If a lot of industry gets developed, what will happen? We'll have a lot of jobs. So in order to increase the road length in India, we have this Bharat Mala Pariyojana. So what are the nuances? What are the important factors in this Bharat Mala Pariyojana? Basically, it focuses on development of ring roads or bypass road. So what is ring road or bypass road? Let us assume that this is your any city. Let us assume that this is your Bangalore city. So Bangalore city will have multiple roads like this. So what is this ring road or bypass road? There is a road that will bypass any city. So if it bypasses any city, that road will be called as bypass. It will not enter into the city, but it will go across the city and move on. So this Bharat Mala Pariyojana focuses mainly on this kind of roads, that is bypass roads or say elevated corridor. Why are we focusing a lot on this bypass road or ring roads? Because in order to reduce the traffic, if the vehicles carrying some freight, carrying some load, enters into the city, what will happen? Firstly, it's going to cause a lot of traffic jam in the city, and secondly, what will happen? It's going to delay the movement of cargoes from place A, point A to point B. Then we cannot have adequate economic growth. So in order to avoid that, Bharat Mala Pariyojana wants to build somewhere around 26,000 kilometers of road mainly for boosting India's economy. So of this 26,000 kilometer road, so 9,000 kilometer will be your economic corridor. So what is this economic corridor? Economic corridor means these are the corridors which focuses on increasing industry. Say for example, Bangalore, 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 Chennai. So Bangalore, Chennai. So Bangalore Chennai is an economic corridor. There are good roadways here. So this roadways, what it does, a lot of industries develop along this roadways. So if a roadways develops, a lot of industries develop along this roadways. So this would be your economic corridor. So under Bharat Mala Pariyojana, so we will be focusing on this economic corridor. Almost 9,000 kilometers of economic corridors are planned across India. Along with that, the Bharat Mala Pariyojana also focuses on border roads and international connectivity. Almost say 2,000 kilometer of road will be focused on border roads. Why border roads? Because borders are usually neglected. The border areas are usually neglected. So if there is no adequate development in the border area, what will happen? People will not get employment. So as a reason, they can enter into terrorism. They can enter into any other illegal activities. So in order to avoid that, so the government is constructing border roads. So if there is border roads, automatically economic development will improve. Along with that, it also has a strategic reason. So what is the strategic reason? We can easily mobilize our troops, we can easily mobilize our army into the borders if we have a very good border road network. So that's the reason under Bharat Mala Pariyojana we are focusing on border roads. And the next one is coastal and port connectivity roads. Again, we know that almost 95 percentage of India's cargo. So how do India's cargo, almost 95 percentage of India's cargo trade occurs through sea. 95 percentage of India's cargo trade occurs through sea. So as a reason, so in order to boost this sector, so we have something called as coastal and port connectivity. What is this coastal and port connectivity? This road connects the port area with the coastal regions, so with the cities around the coastal area. So that is your coastal and port connectivity. Next one is feeder roads. What are these feeder roads? Basically these are the small scale roads that is going to connect rural areas with smaller towns. Say for example, if there's a small village, so these are the small village, this is a big town. So what happens? So these are your feeder roads. So these are feeder roads connecting the small rural area with a big town. So these are your feeder routes. Is this clear? Yeah. Yellow color is sufficient. I think yellow color is fine. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Is this clear? Okay. So this is Bharat Mala Pariyojana. Any doubt here? Okay, this is a new initiative of Government of India. Along with this, we have something called as Green National Highway Corridor Project. What is this Green National Highway Corridor Project? It's a simple concept where government plans to have a lot of plantation work in this median between two roads. And along with this, so here, so government will have a lot of plantation activities across the national highways and in the median between two roads. So this is known as your Green National Highway Corridor Project. Green National Highway Corridor Project, in simple language, it means that it is a afforestation drive. Afforestation drive in a sense, planting a lot of trees across the national highway. So where across the national highway? In the median between two roads and across the roads. This is a afforestation drive done by your Ministry of Roadways. Why these trees are needed in the roadways? Why is it needed? First thing is, what does your trees do? If there is trees over here, it is going to block the headlights. That is headlights these headlights, if they're very bright, so on the opposite side people cannot see the lights, see the roadways properly if the headlights are very bright. So these plants will block the headlights, so the opposite headlights. So again, that is one thing. And the next one is, it is going to mitigate the air pollution. If we have a lot of trees, obviously the air pollution is going to come down. Secondly, noise pollution also will come down. How does noise pollution comes down? Because if there is tree cover, it is the trees will act as a barrier for the movement of sound waves. So if the tree acts as, if the plants and trees acts as a barrier for the movement of sound waves, automatically the noise will come down. So again, it's going to reduce noise pollution. Along with that, the most important ecological reason is it is going to reduce soil erosion. And we know that soil erosion is one of the most important ecological laws for India. So if there is soil erosion, what will happen? The agricultural productivity will come down, the land fertility will come down. So in order to avoid that, we are focusing on Green National Highway Corridor project. Is this clear? Any doubt here? Okay, along with roadways, now we have railways. So, what is this railways? So, railways is also the most important mode of communication in India. We call railways as, what is it called as? Railways is known as the lifeline of India. So, railways is known as lifeline of India. Why it is known as lifeline of India? Because it provides the cheapest mode of transportation for the common public. Cheapest mode of transportation for the common public. And again, most of the people depend on railways for movement between point A to point B. And thirdly, it acts as an important mode of transportation for cargos, for big sized cargos. For big sized cargos, railways are very crucial. Say for example, coal transportation, the crucial raw materials like coal. So whatever the power we get, 55 percentage of India's power comes from coal. How is coal transported? The only medium through which coal is transported is railways. So railways plays a crucial role in India's transportation sector. So that's why we have to analyze railways in detail. So when was the first railway originally started? The first railway was started in 1853 between Mumbai to Thane. So this was done by British. And today India has over somewhere around, more than somewhere around 68,000 kilometers of railway line. 68,000 kilometers of railway line. So this is a crucial mode of transportation for passengers as well as cargos. Now let us see what are the recent developments that has taken place in Indian railways. The recent development, yeah, it is true that most of the railway infrastructure was developed by British. Post independence, yes, we did put some efforts in developing Indian railways, but however, in the recent times, we are upgrading the Indian railways. So, what are the recent upgradation in Indian railways? That's what we'll see. So, what are the recent upgradation in Indian Railways? The most important upgradation in Indian Railways is Vande Bharat Express. What is this Vande Bharat Express? Again, this is a semi express train. So, what is a semi high speed train? So, it is electric train. This is not a diesel train. It is an electric train. It is semi high speed train, and it mainly covers between important cities across India. So what is the advantage of it? The service provided by this Vande Bharat Express is on par with the airways. So on par with the aviation sector. The service and the comfort provided by Vande Bharat is on par with the aviation sector. So as a reason, what will happen? People will start moving towards Vande Bharat Express because the service is on par with aviation sector. And secondly, the most important one is the pricing is lesser compared to the aviation sector. Aviation in the sense planes. So because of that, the service is good, the price is low. So people will focus on will start using Vande Bharat Express. And again, the first route the first route between was between New Delhi and Varanasi. The first route, the first Vande Bharat Express was launched between New Delhi and Varanasi. Now we have many Vande Bharat Express that connects between the important cities across India. So this is now become the most efficient way of transportation at a cheaper cost. You will have all sorts of comforts. At the same time, the cost is very less compared to the aviation sector. So this is the recent trend in Indian railways. Now let us consider what is the recent trend, what is the recent developments that is taking place in the maritime sector. So what is this maritime sector? The waterways. What's happening in the waterways? Let us understand. So in the recent times, what is happening in the waterways? So we know that what is, let us see, what's water development, maritime development. And so India has somewhere around 7,500 kilometer of coastline. India's coastline is more than 7,500 kilometer. So we have extensive coastline. So since we have extensive coastline, we can have a lot of opportunity for ports. There can be a lot of opportunity for import and export trading via seaports. So because of this extensive coastline of say more than 7,500 kilometer, we there's a large scope for trading through seaways. As a reason, more than 95 percentage of India's trade occurs through seaports. The reason being, we have a very vast coastline of say 7,500 kilometers. So because of that, across and along this region, so we can easily trade. And we know that the cost of transportation through waterways is very cheap compared to the cost of transportation with respect to roadways. So it is said that if in order to there's a report that says that if we have to transport say 1 ton of yeah 1 ton, this is your 1 ton of cargo in roadways, it will take 85 percentage of the price. But whereas in your waterways, it will just take 15 percentage. So within 15 percentage is just the transportation cost. So as a reason, this is 85. So because of this, your waterways are very cheaper. So because waterways are very cheaper, 95% of India's trade occurs through your waterways. And now, what is the most important program that is taken in waterways? How do we develop waterways? The current government has rolled out something called a Sagarmala program. So, what is the Sagarmala program? Similar to your Bharatmala Pariyojana, the counterpart of Bharatmala Pariyojana. What does your Bharatmala Pariyojana do? So, Bharatmala Pariyojana is for your road sector. So, for waterways, that is for your seaport sector, we have Sagarmala program. What is the Sagarmala program? The aim of the Sagarmala program is port modernization. So this is your seaport port modernization. So why port modernization is needed? Currently, the turnaround time of India approximately somewhere around 7 days. What is the meaning of turnaround time? Turnaround time means the ship coming to the port, unloading the luggage, unloading the cargoes, and reloading another cargo and going back. So this entire thing is known as turnaround time. Turnaround time means the duration that takes place for a ship to enter into the port, unload the cargoes, and reload new cargoes and go out of the port. So this entire time is known as turnaround time. In India, currently the turnaround time is between 7 to 10 days. 7 days to 10 days. But whereas in Singapore, what is the turnaround time? The turnaround time is 24 hours. So within 24 hours, a ship will enter the port, unload all the cargoes, reload new cargoes, and go out of the port. So it just takes 24 hours in Singapore. But in India, it takes 7 to 10 days. The reason is whatever the port technology we have is very rudimentary, very old. So in order to reduce the turnaround time period, so why we should reduce the turnaround time period? Because it increases the economic activity, it increases the trade. So if we reduce the turnaround time, the trade in India will increase. As a reason, the employment will also increase. So how can we reduce the turnaround time? We can reduce the turnaround time by having better technology. So under Sagarmala program, so it focuses on port modernization. The main aim of port modernization is reducing the turnaround time, and along with that, promoting of coastal shipping promotion. So that is focusing on coastal shipping. So the Sagarmala program tries to promote this coastal shipping. So if we promote this coastal shipping further, what will happen? Further, the trade via port, via the coastal shipping increases. And next one is logistic improvement and port linked industrial clusters. So what is this port linked industrial port linked industrial clusters? So let us consider this is your Kamrajar port, the Chennai, which is there, or say let us consider this is your Mumbai JNPT port. JNPT port. Again here, port linked industrial cluster means along the port we will have multiple industries. Say this is your JNPT port. Along this port, multiple industries are set up. So what will happen if we have multiple industries along the port? The export becomes very easy. So what will happen? The industries can produce the goods and it can export. If the industries can import any raw material, it becomes easy. So this is your port linked industrial cluster. So along the port we plan to build one industrial cluster. Industrial cluster means thousands of industries, or say hundreds of industries, will be built around the port, so that the products of these industries can be easily exported, or the industries can easily import any of this raw material. So this is your Sagarmala project. Any yeah, good Shubham, right? Any doubt here? Fine. So next is inland waterways. So now we have seen maritime waterways. Now let us consider what is India doing in inland waterways. What is India doing in inland waterways? And India, I'll see, for coastline we have somewhere around 7,500 kilometer of coastline. But the inland waterways mean in the sense the river lines, the canal lines, the inland rivers, say for example Ganga, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, Brahmaputra. So these are river lines. So the length of all these river lines, so India has almost somewhere around 14,500 kilometer of navigable river channel. There might be some rivers which is not navigable. Why navigable? In the sense where the ships cannot move, and because the water flow is very less, or there are some falls or some major rocks along the river channel. So in order to avoid, by removing all those, India has somewhere around 14,000 14,500 kilometers of navigable channel. So but unfortunately India is using less than 2% of all the freights that is carried in India moves through this 14,500 kilometer. So even though we have 14,500 kilometers of navigable channel where ships can actually move, but we are not using it. So that is the unfortunate incident. So we are just using to 2% of India's cargo. Say for example, India is sending 100 kg of cargo, only 2 kg of cargo is moving in this 14,500 kilometer of channel. But however, we know for the fact that the cheapest mode of transportation for cargoes is waterways, because in waterways we don't require much energy to push the cargoes. But whereas in roadways and railways we require a lot of energy, lot of diesel, lot of coal to push the cargos, but in waterways we don't require much amount of energy. So this is the most cost effective way of transportation of cargos. But however, unfortunately, we are just utilizing 2% of our cargo. 2% of our cargo moves in inland waterways. So this is an unfortunate incident. In order to develop inland waterways, government in 1986 created something called as inland, yeah, Indian Inland Waterway Authority. Say same something like this. National Highway Authority of India. We have this National Highway Authority of India. What is it doing? This is the agency that is going to manage the national highways. Similarly, we have something called as India's Inland Waterway Highway in Inland India. Sorry, Indian Inland Waterway Authority. So this is the agency that is going to monitor the inland waterways. So how many waterways are there? Like how many national highways? Similar to national highways, we have waterways. So how many waterways are there in India as of now? So in India, as of now, 111 waterways are there. The length of this 111 waterways are 14,500 kilometer. So this is the length of this 111 waterways. This is properly functioning waterways. Functioning in a sense, it's a proper navigable waterways where ships can move. So these waterways, but however, we need to develop some infrastructure, basic infrastructure like port facilities, night lighting, the sensors, the movement of boat sensors, etc. So some work is needed, but however, no major work has been carried out in the inland waterway sector. So this is the yeah, yes, yeah, this is the issue in inland waterways. Yes, Dr. Ashish, time consuming, it is time consuming. Deepika, yeah, good, it will Deepika, it Megha, no need of remembering the names of the 101 waterways, not needed. Memorize two or three, that should be sufficient. Okay, good, good. Okay. So next one is aspirational district and aspirational. It has to be aspirational. Aspirational block program. So aspirational district and aspirational block program. So what are this aspirational district and aspirational block program? So these are the flagship schemes that is rolled out by Niti Aayog. It is not done by any ministry. This scheme belongs to Niti Aayog. These are the flagship schemes of Niti Aayog. So what is this? What is this aspiration district and aspirational block? First, what we'll do is first we'll analyze what is aspiration district, and then we will analyze what is aspiration block program. Is this clear? So let us understand what is aspiration district. So aspiration district, again, it is a flagship program. It is a flagship scheme launched by Niti Aayog. Basically, it focuses on 112 aspirational districts in 27 states. And you might ask, what is this aspiration district? So basically, aspiration district means, so these are the underdeveloped districts that has aspirations to develop. This 122 districts which Niti Aayog has identified, these are the underdeveloped district, less developed district. And Niti Aayog tries to, yeah, Niti Aayog basically it tries to increase, it tries to develop the region. So this is known as your aspirational district. So how does Niti Aayog aims to develop this 112 districts. So aspiration district means the agenda of the aspiration district is to develop this 112 districts. So how does this how does Niti Aayog focus on developing this 112 districts? So Niti Aayog has a proper strategy. What is this proper strategy? It is known as 3Cs. What is this 3C? The first C is convergence. So basically, why many regions, say for example this 120 to 100 and 112 districts, so these 112 districts, so it hasn't developed, whereas the remaining districts have developed. Why is it so? Do you think a government of India is doing something wrong, or the state government is doing something wrong? The main reason is that government of India is doing really good job. Say for example, rolling out scheme. At the same time, state government is also rolling out schemes, but it is not reaching to the not reaching at the ground level. So how can we modify this? So the core strategy of this aspiration list, the first one is convergence, that is bringing together and strengthening, streamlining various central and state government schemes. That is what happens. Sometimes the central government will have the same scheme, state government will also have the same scheme. Say for example, education. Central government will also have schemes for education, state government will also have schemes for education. As a reason, it will lead to overlapping and neglecting of other sectors. So if both center and state are focusing on education, what will happen to different sectors? Like for example, like health, for example, roadways, etc. So the first strategy to develop this 112 district is that convergence. Both center and state government should focus on the same similar schemes. So that is, there has to be convergence between the schemes of central government and state government, so that this will avoid overlapping of any of this schemes, and it will also avoid some misutilization of funds. So the first strategy is convergence, and the next strategy is collaboration. So what is the next C? So this is the next C is collaboration, that is fostering teamwork between center, state, and district level. So that is, there has to be a proper coordination between your union government, your state government, and district administration. If all these three levels work together, coordinate together, they can implement the schemes really well, and that will change the district, that will empower the districts, or say that will bring development in the district. So this is the next one, that is collaboration. And the last one is competition. So it wants to create one healthy competition between this 112 districts. Healthy competition, not the unhealthy competition. Healthy competition. If we start giving ranks to these cities on various various parameters, these districts, they will get motivation to increase in the rank. So as a reason, so this, the next strategy is competition. Niti Aayog wants to create competition among this 112 districts. So if there is competition, what will happen? So each district will strive to perform in a better manner. So if they strive to perform in a better manner, automatically the development of the districts will rise up. So these are the core strategy of aspirational district. And along with this, so let us understand the basic objective. So what is the basic objective of this aspirational district? The first important objective of aspirational district is socio-economic development. There has to be socio-economic development of the people in the aspirational district. So how many aspiration districts are there? 112 aspiration districts are there. So we have to, the first basic agenda of this aspirational district program is improving the socio-economic condition of the people. So socio-economic condition, the social status has to increase, their economic status has to increase. There should not be any poverty, they have to get employment. Social status in the sense, there has to be equality between genders, there has to be a caste system should not be there. So these are the improving this is known as a socio-economic status. There should not be any discrimination. So these are your socio-economic development has to be focused on. So that is the first one. And the next one is bridging the gap between the districts and the rest of the country. And see, the Niti Aayog is very clear. So there are, out of all the districts in India, these 112 districts are the least developed districts. So again here, the next aim, the next goal of Niti Aayog aspirational district program is that we need to bridge the gap. It is not that one district is highly developed, super developed, and the other district is not developed. That should not happen. So we have to bridge this gap. Bridge this gap doesn't mean that we'll reduce the development in the developed district. We'll not reduce the development. So what we'll do is we'll increase this development in the underdeveloped district, so that what will happen, so the gap between the developed district and underdeveloped district reduces. So the next goal is to bridge the gap between the development and the underdeveloped district. Underdeveloped districts are this 112 districts. And next, it focuses on empowering the local communities and fostering inclusive growth. So it is not that Niti Aayog doesn't want to have a top-down approach. Top-down approach in the sense the government will tell the planning regarding the region and it will be implemented. No, Niti Aayog wants to focus on the grassroots level, bottom-up approach, empowering the local communities. So if we empower the local communities, we get to know regarding the various aspects of development, because they are at the grassroots level. They will know what is lacking and what is missing in their district. So if we empower the local communities, so they will know. So it will automatically lead to the empowerment. And again, it has to be inclusive growth. That is, everyone has to get empowered in the region, not just one or two person, or not just one or two community. Everyone in the district has to get empowered. So this is the next objective. And the last objective is create model districts. So if they create model districts, so this 122 districts can aspire for this, can consider that as a standard, and can aspire and move towards this model district. So this is the objective of aspirational district program. Is this clear? Okay. Yes, Shreya. The districts will be ranked on the basis of the performance. Afrin, aspirational district means it is a program, aspirational district program of Niti Aayog. So it is a dedicated program to uplift the underdeveloped districts. So there are around 112 underdeveloped districts which Niti Aayog has selected. So rather than calling it as a underdeveloped district, which has a negative connotation, if we call any district as underdeveloped district, it has a negative connotation. So in order to give the positive connotation, the positive aspects, so we will call it as an aspirational district. So that's it. Is this clear? It has no other meaning. The important meaning is aspirational district means that why the name aspirational district has been selected, because we cannot call this 112 district as a backward district or say underdeveloped district. So it gives a negative connotation. So in order to avoid that, Niti Aayog has used the word aspirational district, in the sense they have aspiration to grow high. So that is the reason. Okay. So what are the key areas it focuses on in aspirational district? Which sectors do we focus in aspirational district? The first one is health and nutrition sector. The health sector is the highest priority that is given in this aspiration district. When people are healthy, they can be educated properly, they can go to schools properly, they can read properly, they can work properly. Everything depends on health. Like as Gandhiji told that health is wealth, aspirational district Niti Aayog follows health as the most important sector that has to be focused in this aspirational district. If there is health, people can easily attend the classes, they can go to higher studies, etc. Their learning outcome is very good if they are healthy person. So if people are healthy, their learning outcome is very good. And secondly, if people are healthy, their economic productivity, the labor productivity will also be very high. So this is your health and nutrition. And the next one is next area that focus that is that the aspiration district focuses on is education sector. The first sector is health sector, and the next one is education sector. Why education sector is important? Because education is one tool that is going to convert human resource into human capital. So we can create good human capital, and we know that India is in a demographic dividend stage. That is, we have a lot of youths, and if we have a lot of youth and if we educate them, it becomes a capital asset for India. So in order to promote the human capital, so we are that is focusing on education under aspirational district program. And the next one is agriculture and water resource. Why agriculture and water resource? Even today 65 percentage, approx 65 percentage of India resides in rural area. And what is the main job in rural area? What is the main economic activity in rural area? Agriculture. So if we have to develop this 112 districts, it is not that we can develop this 112 districts with IT sector. No, IT sectors are concentrated in very few areas. But however, agriculture sector is in pan India. We have agriculture sector almost somewhere around 50 to 55 percentage of workforce. 50 to 55 percentage of workforce, the people who are working, are in this agricultural sector. So as a reason, the next one which aspirational district focuses on agricultural sector. And the next one is financial inclusion and skill development. Again, financial inclusion, since in even financial inclusion is very important because it empowers the people to grow quickly. So financial inclusion is nothing but a person entering into the institutional financial sector means which is run by some rules, laws, etc. So financial inclusion means anyone getting any services through an institutional financial infrastructure. So that is called as your financial inclusion. If anyone gets loan, again that's a financial inclusion sector. If you have a bank account, it's a financial inclusion. You use say post bank, India posts a bank account, again that's a financial inclusion. Financial inclusion means any individual using any financial services from an institutionalized financial infrastructure. So that is your financial inclusion. Why financial inclusion is important? If there is financial inclusion, what will happen? People will get loan. So if people can easily get loan, they can start their own business. They can go to the higher studies, or some other productive activities can be done. Or say they can buy a tractor, increase the agricultural productivity. So why people are hesitating to invest in infrastructure? Because it's not that they are not interested, they do not have money. So if there is financial inclusion, people will get money, they will invest in infrastructures, they will invest in education. So there are go to rural areas. So what happens? Many people aspire to study, go to the higher studies, but however they will not go because lack of money. If there is financial inclusion, they can take up loan and they can study higher, pursue their higher education. So the next area that's focus that aspiration district program focuses on is financial inclusion. And the last area is infrastructure. Again, infrastructure is very crucial for any district's development. Infrastructures like roadways, electricity, sanitation, so these are extremely crucial for electricity development. So this is your aspiration district program. UNDP, United Nations Development Program, has United Nations Development Program has praised this aspiration district model. Because of this aspiration district program, it has achieved a lot of positive aspects. So as a reason, UNDP has praised this aspiration district program. But however, there are some lacunas, some challenges in this aspiration district program. What are the challenges in this aspiration district program? So what has happened, let us consider this is your one district, that is aspiration district program. So due to all the schemes, some parts of the districts are getting developed, remaining part of the districts are not getting developed. Again, we all know that districts are divided into various blocks. So the say basic polity, districts, assume that this is a district, districts are divided into various blocks. This is how we divide it, right? Under various blocks we have multiple panchayats. Blocks are divided into multiple panchayats. So this is a basic thing. District, block, panchayat. So this is the basic thing. So again, here in aspiration district program, it was found out that not every part of the aspiration district is getting developed. So of the say 112 aspiration district, if we consider this is one aspiration district, some part of the aspiration district is getting developed, this part of the aspiration getting district is not developed. So in order to avoid this disparity within aspirational district, so again, government recently started in January 2023, recently started this aspirational block program. So we know that districts are divided into multiple blocks. So when we focused at the district level, what was the challenge? Few blocks were left out, few blocks were not developed. So in order to avoid this issue, government started aspirational block program. What is this aspirational block program? Basically, the interministerial government has selected 500 aspirational blocks out of this 122, yeah, 112 aspiration district. There are 112 aspiration districts. Out of this 112 aspiration district, 500 aspirational blocks have been selected. These aspirational blocks are the blocks which couldn't get developed under this aspiration district program. So as a reason, the ministries have identified these 500 aspirational blocks. So now let us see what are the areas that aspiration block focuses on, aspiration block program focuses on. The first one is bridging the last mile gap. Bridging the last mile gap, in a sense, there is a disparity, there is a difference within the blocks, within the same district. If this is a district and it is divided into few blocks, let us consider block A, B, C. This block A is more developed, block B is less developed. So there is a gap. There is a gap is created within the district. So in order to avoid this gap, so we have this aspiration district program. The main focus of this aspiration district program is to bridge the gap across all the blocks in the district. And the next one is have holistic development. So what is this holistic development? The block should focus on health sector, it should focus on nutrition, education, sanitation, agriculture, and industries, and various industries. So these are the sectors where the aspiration blocks should focus on. If any block has good health institute, good education, good employment opportunity, good number of industries, so what will happen? Automatically the block will develop. Block is nothing but one part of your district, we call it as a block. The block will automatically develop. And the last approach, the last area that is focused by aspiration district aspiration block program is that community driven approach. It has to be a community driven approach, not top down approach. The government will not dictate. The local level community, they themselves will engage and they will implement and they will find out a solution. That is, the community level engagement is needed. So these are the areas on which aspiration block program focuses on. And what are the objective? The main objective is to accelerate the progress within this aspirational district. So this is your aspirational district. So this block has highly developed, this block is not developed. So the main focus of this aspiration district is increase the growth of this block so that this block is on par with the developed block in the aspirational district. And the next one is, the first one is accelerate the progress of the least developed block within the aspiration district. And the next one is ensuring equitable distribution of benefits. So why do some blocks doesn't develop compared to other block? The main reason is the benefits of the programs are not distributed to all the blocks in the district. So under aspirational block program, the main aim is to ensure that there is equitable distribution of the benefits to all the blocks, not just focus on few blocks. You have to focus on all the blocks in the aspirational district, and foster linkages between block level planning and district level. So why there is a issue? The main issue is that at district level there's a different plan, at block level there's a different plan. So if your block development officer, BDO, we call it as a BDO, if BDO officer, block development officer, has a different plan compared to the district administration, what will happen? There will be some chaos. That as a reason, the overall development will come down. If the block development officer and the district administration have the same plans, what will happen? There will be coordination. If there is coordination, what will happen? Automatically there will be development. So the next one is create a model block to showcase the exemplary services delivery. So out of all these 500 blocks that has been created, that has been identified, we need to create model blocks so that these 500 blocks can these 500 blocks can get inspired by the model block and focus on that model. So this is your create model blocks. And ultimately, as I told earlier, we have this UNDP program, that is United Nations National Development Program. So this has lauded both aspirational district program as well as aspirational block program, and it has achieved massive good results. So as a reason, now government is moving towards aspirational block program, so that the holistic development of aspiration district occurs. So how many aspiration districts are there? 112. Is this clear? Yeah, Solace. Yes, Saurav. That's you put it in a simple manner. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next we have lab to land. So empowering farmers technically. So this is a Kurukshetra article. So what is this, a lab to land? What does it mean? Lab. So this is a Kurukshetra article. Lab. So lab is a place where we develop new things. Say for example, from agricultural product perspective, we develop new variety of crops, we develop new technology of cultivation, we develop new equipments. So that is your lab. And land is a place where we cultivate. The problem that was happening in India was, in lab, say the famous lab is, say for example, I see, yeah, say for example your pusa, or we have ICAR, we have pusa. So these are the premier institutes, premier government of India institutes regarding your agricultural research. So this is where all the important agricultural research takes place. But what was the issue that was happening? Whatever the research that is done by ICAR or pusa. See, ICAR and PUSA are the important organization of Government of India that deals with the development of agricultural technology. So you would have heard about PUSA. If you are in Delhi, you would have heard about PUSA. So again, ICAR, this is a premier institute, that is Indian Council for Agricultural Research. ICAR is Indian Council for Agricultural Research. So these are the premier organizations that deals with agricultural development in India. But the issue that was happening in India was that this ICAR was developing the technologies. It was developing new varieties of crop, which would give better yield and good harvest. Similarly, PUSA was also developing good number of crops, good variety of new crops. Say for example, flood resistant crop, drought resistant crop. Different types of crops were grown by developed by PUSA, and new agricultural machineries were also developed by both PUSA and ICAR. But however, the problem was that whatever this organization develops, it was not adopted by the farmers. Why it was not adopted by the farmers? So why it was not adopted by the farmers? The main reason was lack of awareness. People, that is the farmers, were not aware about the research work and the products of ICAR and PUSA. So, and the second thing is, these scientists or these organizations did not actively contact the farmers. So they were doing in silos. That is, ICAR was doing separately. There was no contact with the farmers. PUSA was doing separately, research separately. There was no contact with the farmers, and farmers didn't know what was going on in PUSA. Farmer didn't know what was going on in ICAR, and ICAR also did not take any efforts to send the technologies to farmers. So as a reason, this ICAR and PUSA was developing agricultural technology, but however, that was not implemented by farmers. In order to avoid this, so what ICAR did, ICAR rolled out lab to land program. What is this lab to land program? Basically, the aim is to connect the lab to the land. Whatever the research that takes place in the lab, that should get implemented on the land. If there's a new variety of rice that has been developed, this new variety of rice has to be provided to the farmers. If there is a new seed variety of wheat has been developed, this new seed variety has to be given to the farmers. If ICAR has got a new technique of irrigation, a new technique of spraying pesticides, that has to be taught to the farmers. So this program is called as lab to land program. Is this clear? In a nutshell, so what is lab to land program? Taking all the research activities from ICAR and giving it to the farmers and teaching the farmers regarding their activities. At the same time, taking farmers' review and working on that and giving them the product. So, this is your lab to land program. And who initiated it? Who initiated it? ICAR, Indian Council for Agricultural Research. So it initiated this. And what is the aim here? The broad aim of lab to land is transfer of technology. To whom are we transferring the technology? From ICAR to the farmers. We have to transfer the technology to the farmers. So if the farmers use new technology, obviously the agriculture productivity will go high, the farmers income will go high. So the main aim of this lab to land program is transferring of technology from ICAR to farmers. So this is the first goal of lab to land. And the next one is capacity building. Whose capacity building? So that is the farmers capacity building. How farmers capacity building? So this kind of agriculture, the experts, they will speak with the local farmers, and they will teach the new techniques through which farmer can increase their capacity to cultivate. Farmer will have better capacity to manage the pests through pesticides. Farmer can better utilize the fertilizers. So who will have to teach? That is the ICAR has to teach the new technology, so that there is capacity building. They will have to teach how to utilize the new technologies to the farmers. And the last one is community based approach. That is, what is community based approach? That is involving the local communities in the program planning and implementation. Again, here this lab to land program is not a top down approach. That is, it is not that ICAR will not impose on farmers, rather it is both direction. So it is both ways. So ICAR will give some information to the farmers, and again farmers will give some information to ICAR. So there has to be community based approach. So this was your broad goal of ICAR, a broad goal of lab to land. So again, who is going to implement this lab to land? So this lab to land program will be implemented by KVK. What is KVK? Krishi Vignan Kendra. KVK is Krishi Vignan Kendra. So this you would have seen, if you have been in rural areas, you will see that most of the rural areas, the village headquarters, we will have this Krishi Vignan Kendras. So this in this Krishi Vignan Kendras, your ICAR is a premier organization. So it will not go to every part of India and teach the farmers. So in every district we have this KVK, Krishi Vignan Kendra. So ICAR will give the technology to KVK. KVK will give the technology. KVK is Krishi Vignan Kendra. KVK will then give the technology to farmers. So this is how lab to land will work. This is clear. The lab to land will be implemented by KVKs, Krishi Vignan Kendras, across the country. So now what is this Krishi Vignan Kendra? So Krishi Vignan Kendra was one institute that was again opened by, also initiated by ICAR. The aim was transfer of agricultural technologies and knowledge to the farmers. So this was the aim. And KVK is the only institute at district level that functions as a knowledge and resource center with respect to agriculture. Knowledge and resource center with respect to agriculture. And this is where this KVK facility acts as a two-way dialogue. That is between the dialogue between your scientist and the dialogue between the farmers. It is not that the scientist, that is the scientist in ICAR, they will not impose their technology on farmers. Rather, they will also tell about their technology, at the same time take reviews from the farmers as well. It is a two-way link between farmers and the researchers. KVK acts as a two-way link. So this is your KVK. Here, this in this building, we will have scientists. At the same time, the farmers will also enter into the same place, and they both of them will discuss, and the scientist will transfer the technology to the farmers. And if farmers faces any difficulties, the scientist will remodify the technologies and give it to the farmers. So this is known as your KVK. uh, Indian Council for Agricultural Research, Mayuri. Yeah. Okay, so what is the objective of lab to land program? So broadly, there are five important objective of lab to land program. The first one is the very most obvious one, that is increasing agricultural productivity. So in order to increase agriculture, that's the reason, right? So if agricultural productivity increases, what will happen? The farmers income increases. That's what is needed, right? We need the prosperity of farmers. That's the main reason. So if we have to increase the prosperity of farmers, what we should do? We should ensure that the farmer gets more income. How does the farmer get more income? If the agricultural productivity increases. If the agricultural productivity increases, productivity in the sense the yield, the harvest, if the harvest increases, what will happen? Automatically the income will increase. If the income will increase, the automatically the farmers will be happy. So this is the first thing, that is increase in agricultural productivity. And the next goal is enhancing income generation and livelihood security for the farmers. And we all know that farmers are highly dependent on agriculture. So if we provide them with technologies like, say, flood resistant crop, or say drought resistant crop, drought resistant crop. So what will happen? Automatically, there if there is flood resistant crop or drought resistant crop, if there is flood or drought, these crops will not die. If these crops will not die, what will happen? The livelihood will be intact. The farmer will not lose the livelihood. If there is a crop failure, the farmer will lose the livelihood. But if we have drought failure, drought resistant crop or say flood resistant crop, again the farmer will not lose the livelihood. There is a livelihood security. And the next one is promote sustainable agricultural practices. So why sustainable agricultural practices? Because if the farmer over utilizes fertilizer, if the farmer over utilizes pesticides or say over utilizes water irrigation, so what will happen? This will lead to ecological losses. There will be ecological damages would be there. If there is ecological damages in the long run, what will happen? The agricultural productivity will come down. If the soils are destroyed, what will happen? In the long run, the agricultural productivity will come down. If the agricultural productivity comes down, again the farmer will lose money. So again, that is going to put him or her under more distress condition. So next one is promoting sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture in the sense, not over exploiting the ecology, not over exploiting the soil, not over exploiting water. So that kind of agriculture is known as sustainable agriculture. Next one is bridging the gap between the research and extension. So again, bridging the gap between extension is your farmers. So bridging the gap between your researchers and your farmers, and empowering farmers through knowledge and skill development. So we have to provide knowledge and as well as skill to the farmers. So if you provide knowledge and skill to the farmers, what will happen? Automatically the productivity will increase. So how does actually things work in this lab to land program? So what are the key activities? On farm demonstration. So on farm demonstration means the researchers will come to the farm, that on the ground, and they will demonstrate to the farmers. That is known as on farm demonstration. The scientists, they will come to the farming a farmer's location in the agricultural field, and they will themselves demonstrate to the farmers. So if they themselves demonstrate to the farmers can properly learn that one. So that is known as your on farm demonstration. This is the most important way through which lab to land program is implemented. That is your on farm demonstration. And the next one is training program. Training the farmers, that is farmers are trained through in order to utilize various missionaries, or in order to follow various practices, various types of agricultural practices. So for them, for that, trainings are given. So one is the scientists, they themselves will come to the farmer and teach. And the next one is training programs. Farmers are given training for utilization of various machines, utilization of various machineries, or say focusing on learning new ways of cultivating crops. So for that, training is given. And the next one is farmers formation of farmers interest group. So formation of farmer interest group means the like-minded farmers are made into one group. The people having similar amount of land, or say they if they have same mindset of developing the farmers. So these farmers are put in one group, so that what will happen, they can discuss among themselves in order to come out with a better strategy. So these are the key activities under lab to land program. Is this clear? Any doubt here? Okay, livelihood security for the farmers. Harish. So, what is livelihood security for the farmers? So, farmers are dependent on what? Farmers are mainly dependent on agriculture. So, farmers are mainly dependent on, most of their income comes from agriculture. So, if there is any destruction to agriculture, what will happen? Their entire livelihood gets affected. Livelihood means the sense the my day-to-day activities gets affected. If my income is from agriculture and this agricultural crop has failed, what will happen? I will not get my income. Then my livelihood is destroyed. So that is how, that is known as your livelihood of farmers. Livelihood. So what happens? If I have flood resistant crop, if I have drought resistant crop, if there is a crop damage, that will affect my livelihood. But however, if I have flood resistant crop or drought resistant crop, will it get damaged because of flood or drought? No, it will not get damaged. So as a reason, there will not be crop failure. If there is no crop failure, my livelihood will not get damaged. So that is your yeah, livelihood security. Saujanya, that is a rare case that technology would fail. Yeah, matlab rarest of the rare case. Okay, so we'll take up the next one, agriculture and rural development. So, what is this agriculture and rural development? Basically, this is an article from Kurukshetra. Again, this article focuses on making Atmanirbhar, make Atmanirbhar village in a sense, self-sufficient village. That is, a village should not depend on other activities. So, what does the article say? That India under Atmanirbhar initiative wants to make the village self-sufficient. That is, we have to focus on livelihood stability and financial empowerment. There has to be Atmanirbhar village. So this is one aspect, that is India wants to promote this self-sufficient village. This for this works are going on. Along with this, the article talks about millets in India. So what is this millets in India? So recently, so what are millets? You would have heard about this bajra, or say foxtail millet. Also, you would have heard about ragi. So, jowar, ragi, jowar, bajra. So, these are known as millets. So, these are not your pulses or cereals. These are completely different. These are known as millets. So, it is also called as a coarse grain. Coarse grain. It is known as coarse grain, but it's also is. But however, to be more specific, it is known as millets. And millets are highly nutritious compared to cereals as well as your pulses. Compared to cereals and pulses, millets are highly nutritious. So in order to promote millet, so what happened? Government gave a proposal to United Nations to declare 2023 as International Year of Millets. And so this was the proposal given by Government of India. So luckily the United Nations accepted this proposal and declared 2023 as the year of millets, that is International Year of Millets. This 2023 was accepted as the International Year of Millets. And in order to further increase the awareness about millets, it was considered as Sri Anna. So earlier it was known as coarse grain. Coarse grain means, so these are the grains that are not preferred by anyone. So these are very coarse, coarse in nature, very rough in nature. So these are the grains that are not preferred by anyone. So earlier it was known as poor man food, poor man food. But however, this is the most nutritious grains. So in order to create awareness, in order to change the attitude towards millets, so government of India renamed this millets as Sri Anna. Sri Anna means it's the food given by God. Matlab it's a food that has this godly power. So that is known as your Sri Anna, the most supreme food. So Sri Anna. So that name was given to that name was given to the millets. Earlier it was known as poor man's food, coarse grains. Now the government has changed the name to Sri Anna. And so in order to further create awareness regarding millets, so what did the government do? So the government had one international, that is global millet conference in India. So the aim was to create awareness regarding millets, and again, in order to have find out the best strategy to cultivate millets. So this was the goal, this was the broad idea of behind organizing the global millets conference in New Delhi. So this is what these are the developments of India in agriculture. So this is one development of India in agriculture. And the next development that is taking place in agriculture is digital revolution has entered agriculture. So what is this digital revolution that is taking place in agriculture? So we have this Kisan Mitra mobile app. So Kisan Mitra app, so you can also download this Kisan Mitra app and just use it. So it is very user friendly. So it is available in most of the Indian languages, not every Indian languages, in most of the Indian languages it is available. It is very user friendly. So what it does, it gives all the weather updates, it gives the best way of cultivating crops, it gives the prices of the different crops in the market, it gives the cost of the fertilizer, pesticides, everything. Consider this Kisan Mitra app as a true friend of a farmer, which is going to help farmer in every aspect regarding what kind of crop selection with respect to the weather pattern, what is the price of the fertilizer, what is the price of the pesticides, etc. Everything will be given as per the everything will be given in this app. So there is a digital revolution that is taking place in agriculture. Along with the digital revolution, there is also a lot of development in infrastructure in agriculture. What are the infrastructures that are taking place, that are developing in agriculture sector? First one is Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So don't think that how will the road is going to help in agriculture. So basically what happens, if there is a good road connection, we can connect to the market easily. So if there's a good road connection, so we can get the fertilizers quickly, we can easily sell the agricultural products. So this is your Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana means construction of roadways in rural area. It is going to help the agriculture sector because it will help in accessing the rural market. So this will help in the agricultural sector. And next one is we have Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is an umbrella scheme that aims to develop a lot of irrigation projects across India. Basically, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana aims to develop a lot of different varieties of irrigation schemes in India, irrigation infrastructure in India. So the agenda is, so if there's adequate irrigation facilities to the farmers dependency on rainfall reduces. Now almost 50 percentage of India's farmers are dependent on rainfall. So if there is no rainfall, they cannot cultivate. So this is the current situation now. 50% of India's farmers are still depending on rainfall for cultivation, for their crop cultivation. So if there is any monsoon failure, this 50% of the farmers will lose their livelihood. So in order to avoid that, we have this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. The aim of this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is to develop a lot of infrastructure, irrigation infrastructure, so that it is going to help the public, it's going to help the farmers. So this is happening in infrastructure aspects of agriculture. And the last thing is, in agriculture there's a massive revolution of financial inclusion. So what is this massive revolution of financial inclusion? This is your PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. What is this PM Kisan Samman Nidhi? So basically, the and from union government, there is a direct cash transfer to the farmers. So 6,000 rupees per year is given to the farmers. So again, this will help the farmers in terms of procuring of seeds, procurement of your fertilizers, procurement of your pesticides, etc. Basically, it is going to act as an additional income for the farmers. So along with the regular income what they get, so this will act as a additional income to the farmers. Is this clear? So this is your financial. These are the revolutions that are taking place in agricultural sector. Is this clear? Okay. Okay. Next, we'll see the sustainable industries. So for industry, for our villages, what are the sustainable industries that are needed for our villages to make the self-resilient, self-reliant village? Self-reliant village is nothing but Atmanirbhar village. That is, the village has to be self-sustained. So the government is in the phase of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Since the government is in the phase of Atmanirbhar Bharat, village plays an important role in India. Say 65 percentage of India is in rural area, so village plays a crucial role. If we have to make Atmanirbhar Bharat, first we have to make Atmanirbhar village. So how can we make Atmanirbhar village or a self-reliant village? So in order to have the self-reliant village, we need to have sustainable industries. What is the sustainable industries? We will see to it now. So, so the author says that Indian villages are very vibrant. It is very good. But however, this Indian village households, this households cannot solely depend on agricultural income. And we why it cannot solely depend on agricultural income? Because of erratic rainfalls, there can be crop failures. So if there is crop failure, this households will not get adequate money. So as a reason, so if you have to sustain one village, you cannot solely sustain on agricultural income. You want some other income source. So what is that some other income source? That income source is nothing but your sustainable industries. I'll explain it again. So Indian villages are highly dependent on agricultural income. Agriculture, what are the income that comes from selling your vegetables, selling your food grains, etc. But we know that these food grain crops and these vegetable crops are highly dependent on rainfall, and we cannot trust the rainfall. The rainfall are highly erratic in nature, so we cannot trust the rainfall. So if there is a rainfall failure, monsoon failure, what will happen? That will lead to crop failure. If there's a crop failure, this will cause damages to the entire village. So in order to reduce this damages to the entire village and make the village self-sufficient or self-reliant, or say make the village Atmanirbhar, we require sustainable villages. So what is a sustainable village? So we require sustainable industry. What is a sustainable industry? Sustainable industries, so these are the industries that will provide economic opportunity without compromising environmental damages. So without any environmental damages, it will provide economic opportunities. Those kind of industries are known as sustainable industries. Simple example, simple way of explaining sustainable industry is that these are the industries that will give you economic benefits, but it will not damage your environment. Those kind of industries are known as sustainable industries. So the author says that if you have to make the village self reliant, or if you have to make the village Atmanirbhar, the only solution is have many sustainable industries. So what is sustainable industries? The industries where there is economic benefit but no environmental damages. Those kind of industries are known as sustainable industry. Now let us see what are the sustainable industries that the author is talking about. The author says that there are various types of sustainable industries. The first one is agro-based sustainable industry. What is agro-based sustainable industries? Say for example, pickle making or jam making, juice extraction. So this kind of pickle making industries, will it cause any pollution? No, it will not cause any pollution. You will pluck mangoes or you will pluck lemon from the same rural area, you will make pickle and you will sell it. So is there any pollution? No pollution here. So but however, if we sell the pickle, what will happen? These guys will get employment. So this is your agro-based sustainable industry. So this is one such example. And the other example of agro-based sustainable industry is grow organic farming, organic products, organic farming. So now there is a lot of demand for organic products. So if we have this organic farming, what will happen? Again, automatically the employment will increase, the income will grow. If the income grows without any environmental damage, then these are sustainable industries. That is organic farming and natural products. These are again your sustainable industries. So along with agro based industry, the author also emphasizes on the artisan, that is handicrafts and artisan work. Say for example, in rural areas you would have seen variety of pottery making, or variety of paintings, etc., or wood carving. So these are the industries that will not pollute any of the region. Say for example, here this is a pottery making, this is pottery painting. So will it pollute the village? No, it will not pollute the village. But however, this person will receive some economic benefits. What is sustainable industry? These are the industry that is going to provide economic benefits without environmental damages. This is one. That is, the author says that we need to promote this handicraft and artisan work, so that so that this is nothing but a sustainable industry. Along with this, we have ecotourism and nature-based services. So what is this ecotourism and nature-based services nowadays? So this rural tourism has become one big it's a big tourism attraction. Rural tourism, homestays. So these kind of homestays, these are your rural tourism. So if there is ecotourism, what will happen? Will tourism, if there is ecotourism, means sustainable tourism which doesn't damage the environment. If there is ecotourism, the name itself says that it is ecotourism, that there's no damages to the environment. But however, ecotourism is one such industries where the villages can focus on, where there is no economic environmental damages, but there is economic benefits. So these are the types of sustainable industries where the village needs to focus on. So if the village focus on these industries, we will have various benefits. What are the various benefits? First one is economic resilience. That is, the villagers need not depend only on agricultural income. They will be resilient towards crop failure. If there is a crop failure, ठीक है, I will get income from other sources. So they will be economically, they will be resilient. They will diversify their income. They will not only depend on the agricultural income. They will not only depend on the income from the crops. They will also depend on various other income. If they depend on various other income, they'll be economically resilient. They will not be over dependent on one type of economic income. And the next one is, it is going to ensure environmental stability. Along with economics, it is going to also bring in your environmental stability. So sustainable industries, does it cause any environmental damage? No, it doesn't cause any environmental damage. As a reason, there is also environmental stability. Along with that, what is the next most important thing is social empowerment will be there. So social empowerment, if anyone gets a job, automatically their position in the society elevates. If a woman gets adequate income in the rural area, again her position will get elevated. She will be empowered. She will have money with her. If a poor person gets more money, so then what will happen? The social status will increase. This will lead to social empowerment will be there. And the next one is cultural preservation. Again, there is cultural preservation. Say for example, artisans, handicraft work, artisan work. So pottery making, painting, etc., these are sustainable industries. Because of this, what's going to happen? The culture, the tradition of the rural area will be intact. So this is cultural preservation will be there. But however, there are challenges in sustainable industries. What are the challenges? The main challenges is infrastructure. There is no adequate infrastructure. Even if people wishes to develop pickle industry, I should get adequate water. I should get current. There has to be proper roadways. This is missing. So there's no proper infrastructure for sustainable industries. Secondly, people do not have technology and skills in order to utilize machinery. There is a big gap between there's a big skill gap. So with respect to the machinery utilization, or with respect to utilization of social medias, with respect to utilization of digital there's a huge digital illiteracy. So because of that, they cannot adequately utilize the technology. And the last one is financial accessibility is again another challenge. So financial accessibility. So in order to have a pickle industry, what should I get? The first important thing is I need money. But in rural area, having bank account is a big thing. So again, there are no adequate entities that is going to provide you credit. So these are the challenges for sustainable industries in rural area. Is this clear? Any doubt here? Okay, fine. So we'll take up the last topic. It's extremely easy. It's very simple concept. So you should know this. Recently, so what government did? So government rolled out this RRTS, Regional Rapid Transit System. What is Regional Rapid Transit System? Regional. So it covers it's a transport system between two different regions, between two different important metro cities. There's a transportation system. It is something like bigger version of your metro. Say your metro runs within cities, right? Metro runs within cities. RRTS runs between two neighboring cities. That is simple definition of RRTS. If you have to understand what is RRTS, your metro, the regular metro, what does your regular metro do? It will run within cities. Say for example, your Chennai metro. What does your Chennai metro do? It goes within Chennai. Hyderabad metro goes within Hyderabad. Bangalore metro goes within Bangalore. RRTS means it is a type of your, not exactly, you cannot call it as exactly metro rail, but it's a type of your metro rail where it connects between two adjoining cities, two nearby cities. So that is known as your RRTS. For the first time, India rolled out this RRTS. So what is RRTS? It's a semi high speed rail based commuter system that is intercity travel. For the first time, when RRTS was rolled out between Delhi and Meerut. For the first time, when RRTS was rolled out between Delhi and Meerut. And getting a difference, metro RRTS is something like your metro, bigger version of metro. Metro runs within a city. RRTS runs between two different cities. It is an intercity. So, what are the advantages of RRTS? Simple. The most important advantage is it's going to reduce the travel time. So, if we go through your roadways due to traffic jam, so it's going to take a lot of time. So, through RRTS, the time will come down. And the next one is it is going to increase connectivity, and that will lead to increased education, healthcare access across the city. So again, due to increasing connectivity, and these are very frequent. So for example, these are 15 minutes, so it goes 50 once in 15 minutes. There's a RRTS between Delhi to Meerut. So these are very frequent. So consider these are like the normal metro rail at a bigger scale. That's the basic definition of your RRTS. And increased connectivity, so this will lead to job creation, new job creation, education access, health access, etc. And it will lead to economic stimulus. How it's going to lead to economic stimulus? How there is economic growth? New jobs would be created. So it would boost the real estate. If the RRTS is going between, this is point A, this is city A, this is city B. So let us consider this is your Delhi, this is your Meerut, this is Meerut. So between Delhi and Meerut, if there is RRTS, what will happen? The real estate price will go high here. So this is again, it's going to boost the economy. And the next one is environmental impact would be low. How RRTS reduces the environmental impact? It runs on electricity, so there's no major emission. If we have to move from your point A to point B in vehicle, there's a lot of emission. But RRTS, there is environmental impact is controlled. again urban development. So again what happens along the RRTS, there is always a development that takes place. So automatically, because it acts as a corridor, automatically there are development. Apartment complexes will come up, your malls will come, your IT sector will come, various industries will come. So again, that will lead to urban development. So RRTS in general, it is a very good way of commuting. So it will help in commuting, transporting people from point A to point B at a very large scale. So again, having RRTS will resolve various issues like traffic jam, environment pollution, etc. So this is your conclusion. Now solve this one. Jason, no, it's not under Indian Railways. Yes, yes, Deepika, you're right. Good. Okay. Okay. So this is the end of your class. All the best. So study well. And for the people who are giving prelims 2024, all the best. Please do not miss out on the prelims test series. Please solve it. That's the best way of clearing prelims. Solve as many tests as possible. That's the only approach through which you can clear. Is this clear? All the best, guys.